I have some polyhedrons here, some 3D figures, and what we want to do today is we want to find out the total surface area of these polyhedrons. We're also going to talk about something that's called lateral surface area that's going to help us with this. All right, so the first thing is total surface area. Total surface area is the area where we add all the sides of the polyhedron. The sides, top, and the bottom of the polyhedron. And so some of these are different. So we see one that's a triangular prism right here. And we would be adding all the sides of the polyhedron together. And we want the whole area. This also counts. Finding the area of the circles and the area of all the way around. That is total surface area. Now there's something really cool that we need to look at prisms and cylinders to help us out. The really cool thing for, like I said, for prisms and cylinders is that they have a common characteristic that's going to help us. You should have looked at nets by now, and nets have a central rectangle, I should say, for each one of these. So when we open up a net, we see that for our rectangular prism, we have this rectangle that's right here. And we can see that also with our triangular prism. There's going to be this central rectangle right through the middle here, right? And even with our cylinder, we're going to see that. Okay. We've got a central rectangle when we look at it. All of them have a rectangle right in the middle. It's in the middle of everything between our bases. Okay, so we're going to use that characteristic to help us find the total surface area. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to try to find the area of the central rectangle. I'm not going to do that with the cylinder right now. I'll do that later. I'm going to use the simplest one, which is actually looking at the net of a rectangular prism. Okay, so with that central rectangle, we know that to find the area of a rectangle, we're going to multiply the base times the height. All right, now I made a little box right here, and this one it's color-coded, so the front and the back are pink. My base is yellow, top and bottom, okay? And then my sides are blues, both. And the reason I did that is because the area of the front should be the same as the area of the back, the top should be the same as the bottom, and the left should be the same as the right, okay? And the reason I want you to see that is because since we're going to have this rectangle, and let me open this up, okay? And we see some measurements in here. When I open it up, you can see that we have our bases. Now, what does this have to do, what does this base have to do with this long rectangle? All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to look at its characteristics, and one more time, I want you to look at this base. And I want you to notice that we're going to be able to figure out how long this is by adding the sides of our yellow base. Okay, watch. This side is the same as this piece down at the bottom. Here, when I close this side, they're the same size, right? On the other side, they measure the same, don't they? So the back and the sides right now are the measurements around. All the sides match up to the sides of that central rectangle, right? So that when I open it up, if I were to do something as simple as measure the perimeter right here, that would be the same as this whole length. That would be our base. And then I need to find out how tall it is, the height. Okay? So then we could actually figure out this lateral, what we call the lateral surface area. We could figure out by adding the sides of our base. This base is going to become really, really important, okay? So our bases, you've got to pay attention to those. Okay, so the lateral surface area is going to be is going to be equal to the P. Big P is where the P is the perimeter of the base. One more time, that yellow piece right there. All right? So P is a perimeter. We're going to add the sides together times the height. So we're going to add all the sides of our perimeter and see if we can come up with a solution for this, okay? So big P equals to the sides of the base, okay? And this side I actually have it written down. This side is actually equal to 3 inches this way, and the height is 2 inches. So I'm going to just measure the perimeter. So that's going to be 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. And of course, we know that's going to equal to 10. Okay? All right. And now that I know what P is equal to, what's the height of the whole prism? Well, the height's going to be equal to 3. And in both of these cases, it's going to be inches. Okay? To find the area of the central triangle, which is called the lateral surface area. Okay, so I'm going to put it down as the lateral surface area equals 10 times 3. Okay, and of course we know that's equal to 30 inches squared. Remember, we're looking for area, so that's got to be squared. Right? And so now we know this central area right here. The only thing that's left to know the area of the entire thing would be to find the total surface area, would be to find the area of each one of these little rectangles. And that should be pretty easy because, again, these are rectangles, so we're going to use our formula that we had before, base times height. And that should be pretty easy. We'll be multiplying base times height, but remember there's two bases, one here and one there. If I find the area of this one, well, I already know the area of this one because they have to be congruent. In other words, they have to be the same. So I would just take the area of this one and multiply by 2. And that we can include both of these, all right? If we're looking for the area of the base, this is because this is a rectangle. Now, if we were doing something like working with a triangular prism, remember, our base would be different. We'd be using the formula for a triangle, okay? And that would be 1/2 times the base and height. That's not what we're working on with right now, but you know, it would be a possibility. So remember, it depends on what our base is, right? Depends on what our base is as to what we put here for B. In this case, it was a rectangle, not a triangle. So that's what we're going to use. All right, substitute the numbers. 30 inches squared plus 2 times base 3, height 2. 3 times 2. Remember to use PEMDAS. Okay, need to start in the parentheses and just do the math now. 2 times 6. 30 inches squared plus 2 times 6 is 12 inches squared. Put them together and we've got, now remember this is the lateral surface area right here, the pink and blue right here, and this is including both, right? That's why we multiply by 2, both of the bases. So now we're putting all together and we've got 42 inches squared for the total surface area. Okay, let's use this example here. I have a rectangular prism, and what I have is I've gone ahead and I've decided which my base is going to be. And just to make it easy, I'm going to make it the top part and the bottom are going to be my bases. Now remember, that could be a box, and it could be any, and we'd like to think of boxes. In my case, I'm thinking of a Kleenex box, and I'm thinking something that kind of looks like this. All right, it's going back. We have the front here. We've got the top here. And we have the side panel over here. All right? And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to find the total surface area. And to do that, we need this lateral surface area plus the 2 bases. And again, that means that we're going to add the perimeter of our base, and then we're going to have to find the area of our base for big B. So remember, our base is going to become really important, all right? Let's get the numbers that go with this. Up here, you're going to see a 5 on the left, a 2 at the bottom in the front, and then going back on the side is going to be a 10. And I'm going to really highlight this base because I really need to know what it looks like. Guys, it's so important that you shade it in, and that way you can see it and figure out what numbers go with it. I'm going to highlight here. So when I look for the lateral surface area right here, remember we used, a while ago, we used this. We had to look for the perimeter first, And then we looked at the height, we got the lateral surface area, that goes here. Then we're going to add our two bases. Okay, let's find this first. The number that goes with this is 2. See how it comes up? The number in the front, the measurement in the front is going to be the same measurement in back. So that's going to be 2 back here. On the side here, we see that's going to be 10. And again, the right side is going to be the same as the left side, so that's going to be 10 up here. And we're going to add them. 10 plus 2 plus 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2, 10 plus 2. All right. And that gives us 24 inches. The height of the whole thing is here. That's 5. The height is 5. So I'm going to multiply these. Remember, this is P times H equals 24 times 5. All right. And that should give us 120 inches squared. Okay? All right. Now, that goes right here, right? We just saw perimeter times the height. We're going to put that right there. Do you see that? Total surface area, that's our first part. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in there now. Okay, why wait? Okay, 120, and remember this is going to be inches squared. We'll remember that for the end. And now I need to add my two bases. My base, again, is this thing in red. It hasn't changed. We're going to look at the base times the height, because this is a rectangle. So we're going to say 2 times 10. And we know what that is. 20. So that's 120 plus 2 times 20 is 40. Our final answer is 160 inches squared. Okay. All right. Not very difficult math, just it has a lot of little steps. We're adding. Then we're multiplying that answer here. We take our answer, put it there, right? And then we just add our two bases. 2 times whatever the area of the base is. Okay, let's go ahead and conclude this. I want to look at the formula again. Remember, we used this here. We found out that it's 160. But let's look at all the numbers again. P. P was when we added all the sides of our base. 10 plus 2 plus 10 plus 2. Times the height. How tall is the whole thing? Plus 2. Stays the same because we have two bases. Base is equal to 2 times 10. Guys, do you notice it's the same numbers? We're adding 10 plus 2, 10 plus 2 here, and then we're multiplying 2 times 10 here for the base. I want you to see that it's all connected to this. The only time we use our height is right here. I hope this helps, and we'll discuss it in class.